Your podcast. Yeah. Whenever you start, I'm ready.
You ready?
I told you I'm ready. That will be the start.
Hey guys, welcome to the very first episode of the weekly podcast For Honors, where me and a friend get together and we talk about random topics involving tech, games, and life. My name's Tyler, and with me is the ever bold Jaylene, wearing her very bold
yellow shirt. I
shirt.
usually don't ever wear yellow, but today felt like a special occasion.
Very bold.
Yeah.
Very bold.
I got here, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a bold color, but...
And you know, it is special. Because it's the very first podcast.
Yeah, so I guess it made sense.
It did.
It's like my heart knew. It's like, I'm gonna look back on this day and regret. Like, I'm gonna watch this and be like, oh, yellow. Like, I love the color yellow, but whenever I wear it, I'll look back and I'll be like, was that really a good choice?
You're like, maybe.
Maybe. One day I'll rock yellow and be completely okay with it. Today I always, like... Now, I always try it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
It's like, I get home after going out, and I'm like, that wasn't a good idea. I guarantee I'll go home, and I'll go change to, like, pajamas, and I'll be like, nah. And I won't wear yellow again for, like, another 2 months.
Okay, well, I think, first podcast to round it off, introduction.
Okay.
Why this is being done, and just kind of what your thoughts are.
About the podcast, or?
Yeah, about this whole situation here.
Okay. Well, have you explained why it's being done? I was just told to come over in your greatest yellow shirt. I'll stop milking that now. It won't be a topic anymore.
Okay, so anyways, the reason why I wanted to do this was because it's actually part of graduating.
College.
Yes, university.
For those who don't know.
But anyways, it's part of my honors program where we have to pick some sort of topic and do this whole research in it.
Okay.
And so I decided that I wanted to do a research topic based on why people choose to pick individuals and personalities on the internet to find their news and entertainment more than something on TV or like a big brand company. So being part of it is that I wanted to take the information and the people that I've seen, and I want to try to make up my own.
Which you told me about this, and I thought was very interesting. And I've thought about it a lot since you told me. And I noticed it's mostly young people doing this. Like, a lot of, like, the older crowd is, like, still set in their ways. But it's, like, a lot of, like, the newer generations are starting to lean toward this. And I'm very curious as if it's, like, because of social media is a thing.
Yeah.
Or because, like...
100%.
I mean, I know that's most of it, but I really got me thinking, so I'm ready to dive deep into this.
Yeah, and one of the things, too, was I was recently watching a podcast by Sarah Dietschy, which she does tech reviews, basically. But she had a daily podcast that she did, which was really entertaining. She did about, like, 20 minutes each day, and it was just, like, topics that...
Oh, yeah.
News and stuff related to games and social media and the latest tech. And then she ended up releasing today, actually, a podcast that is called The Creative Exchange, where she finds people that are actually doing this and just kind of sits down and talks with them about what it is they're doing and why they think it's important and stuff. So I thought that was kind of interesting. It's about half hour long.
Yeah.
But it's pretty good. But really, looking through it with the whole journey and stuff that I've done, just kind of people that I've already seen and watched before and the new people that I've kind of found, I kind of wanted to talk about your inspiration, because you're also doing this.
Mine's not as professional. Let's get that clear. You go to my YouTube channel, and it's like, I got one of my friends dancing in like a kids' science museum, and then I've got, I think I did like a prank video.
Yeah.
On my brother, and it's super vague. I think I put that in the title.
Yeah.
So like I think you're taking the like professional like learning approach, and I'm just doing it just for like laughs. For the giggles. So I think we should clarify that.
Okay, fair enough.
Because I kind of just dove in just because I got bored one day.
True, and I mean, obviously I've been thinking about this for a while.
Yeah, yours is more thought out. Mine's just like, oh, this funny thing happened.
Yeah.
Let me make a video.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I think that it was actually this honors class thing that really pushed me to actually do it. Because, I mean, I honestly probably wouldn't have gotten...
I know it's something that you've talked about for a while.
Yeah.
I think it really defines our personalities.
Yeah.
Where you're more of the, like, the planner. You're like... and when you do something, it's going to get done right. It's going to get done well. Whereas I'm more of the just, like... not, like, the spontaneous type. More of the just, like... I'm just going to do this. I'm not going to plan it out, really.
Yeah.
We'll just kind of see how it goes.
See what happens, yeah.
So...
But, I mean, like, who is it that you watch or listen to that you're like, they're good, I trust them, or I find them funny, and I want to do something like that? I
think if we're starting way back in the beginning, when I, like, discovered, like, I guess, YouTube as a whole. Yeah. Because that's where most of my, like, I don't know, inspiration comes from. I remember the first time I actually saw YouTube as, like, an actual, like, I don't know, entertainment platform. Because before, like, I used YouTube, but it was to look up, like, Taylor Swift lyric videos, like, or like, I don't know, just stuff like that. I remember watching Smosh for the first time. They had this, like, fire truck rap video.
Okay.
I listened to it, like, on repeat. I memorized the whole rap. And I don't rap, but I memorized this rap. And I would just go through and I remember coming home from school and just, like, I'd get home at, like, 4. So when the bus would drop me off. And from, like, 4 to, like, 9, it was just, I would just watch Smosh. Because it was so weird to me that, like, you had these entertainers. They were, like, a TV show almost. But it's, like... And this was before, like, Netflix got really big, too. Okay. So you couldn't really, like, binge anything. But I was binging, like, just Smosh constantly. Yeah. And I couldn't wrap my head around the idea that, like, that was their job. That they just got to make videos. And they were that good at it. That they were, like, that quality. So I think that's what really got me interested. And that led me to other YouTubers. Like, I got into, like, Shane Dawson for a little bit. Okay. I really got into Rhett and Link. I liked them for a long time. I would say the ones that I really got into were Dan and Phil. Okay. They're 2 British, like, vloggers, and I think I spent all of high school just, like, watching their videos. Like, they just stood out to me, and, like, the fact that there's these 2 British guys that I don't know, and, like, I felt like I knew all about them. Yeah. Because it's not like watching a TV show or, like, you know, like listening to a band. Or, like, any of that. It's, like, you actually get to see these people's, like, personalities. Yeah. It wasn't them, like, playing a character or anything. It was just them being like, oh, yeah, this squirrel bit my finger today. And you're like, oh, okay. I think that really, like, being able to connect with people that you don't know and just having them be themselves, like, on camera and just thinking, oh, they're just in their bedroom. I can do that. Was really, like... mind-boggling to me that I also have videos on this platform and like it's still hard to kind of wrap my head around that like YouTube got as big as what it has, but I think Dan and Phil really helped me with that because it was just weird that like how connected I felt to them, and it's like 2 guys in like London that I don't even know.
That you don't know.
I would say now it's a lot of like Rooster Teeth's a big one for me. Rooster Teeth's got like a ton of like different like branches and like podcasts that I'm really into. So I would say right now I'm really into like Funhouse. Okay, yeah. Same. They do a lot of like kind of wacky videos. Yeah. But I mean I could like their podcast is really good. They're really informative. I love just how weird and just funny they can be, and then you sit them down in a podcast format. And they're just really informative. Yeah. Like the nonsense kind of goes away for a while and they're serious. You get a really like well informed podcast out of it. So I'm really into stuff like that now. Podcasts in general I just like just because I don't know. maybe it's because I'm, like, boring now since I graduated high school. I'm just like, yeah, I'm just listening to people talk for an hour,
But see, I think that the thing is the fact that you can find one specific person or group of people that you can turn to and you know that they know. Like, you know what they're going to be talking about.
Yeah.
So, like, Funhouse, they do more of, like, the video game side of news and everything. And you know that you can go to them and you can attach yourself to their personalities.
Yeah, you can almost rely on what you're going to see throughout. Like, you get the weekly schedule of Funhouse because they have, like, their gameplay videos, and then they have, like, Demo Disc is, like, a series that they have. And then they have, I think they have 2 podcasts that they do now. They have the regular one, they do a movie one now.
Yeah.
So it's like, you kind of know what you're going to get, so you kind of know what to look for. It's like I know what to expect every week. It's kind of nice to know that it's like, okay, I'm going to get more, like, you know, gaming videos this week.
Yeah, like, you can select what exactly it is you want to listen to and when and who.
Yeah.
Whereas I think when it comes to traditional media, it's more of you have one set channel or one set station and they just kind of run through everything.
Yeah.
But with not much detail. It's more of like, let's just skim through these points and this is it.
What's going on. Yeah. Which I think, I mean, obviously it's like an older generation thing. It's just kind of like, I don't know. I feel like the news is just like something that's been around forever. I'm losing my train of thought here. Where was I going with this? Just like, because you obviously have the big media sources that are also biased. It's just like, I don't know. It's not as, like, selective as what we have now with the internet. Like, not even just YouTube. Like, you have stuff like Twitch and, like, SoundCloud. And you were just telling me about, like, Anchor. And I know there's also, like, there's, like, so many platforms that you can go on and, like, watch content and, like, really pick what you want.
Yeah.
Like, I just started watching on Netflix, which is completely off topic. I started watching, I think it's called, like, The Great British Baking Show. It's got Mary Berry in it. And I'm like, this is something that, like, I don't know, like, 20 years ago, if somebody in America wanted to watch a British baking show, good luck.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to, like, pay for those, like, VHSs to be mailed to the U.S. Like, I don't know. It's very interesting just how much content there is and just how like selective you can be with it, I guess. You know, the point you're getting at.
I mean, you find the group of people that you attach yourself to that they have the same thought process as you, and you're like, I trust them. I know what they're doing.
That's a lot of thing too, is it's easier to feel connected to somebody who, like, you know, is kind of like in charge of their content.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, you'll watch people on YouTube who've really made a business out of what they do, but it's like it's still the ones in charge. It's not someone, like, pulling the puppet strings.
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing too. It's like, I mean, you know who's putting, like, all the effort into it, whose ideas it is, because I just don't think you get that with the bigger sources.
Yeah.
It's more of just, like, somebody else telling them what they're going to do or what they're going to say. So. Yeah,
which, I mean, I think that gives more power because it's the individual that gets to make the choice of what they put in their content and what they leave out, instead of someone else being like, hey, we're sponsored by them, so we can't do that.
Yeah.
Or we can't say anything bad about them, but here's their competition, so let's try to bash them as hard as we possibly can.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, a lot of people that I've watched recently, because I do watch a few podcasts, different podcasts. I do watch Funhouse.
Yeah. For
sure. Because I love their content and everything. But another couple that I watch is kind of funny. It's one of those things that they just started 2 years ago, maybe. They all worked at the video game company IGN. And they decided that, hey, we're going to get together once a week and we're going to start talking about random stuff or news-related stuff. And we'll just see where it goes. And they actually started on their living room floor. Like, they didn't even have a table.
Yeah.
Like, they started sitting on their living room floor and just sat around and, like, talked. And it became a thing where they grew enough of a community and a fan base, and more people started liking them, to the point where they realized that, hey, they can make the same amount, if not more, by quitting their IGN job in just doing this.
And, like, pursuing that.
And then from doing this, they now have 2 years later, they have an entire studio completely dedicated to all their different shoots and stuff. They're sponsored by different companies. Like, they're running their own business. And it's one of those things that they initially talked about how easy and relaxed it was going to be because they didn't have to worry about blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But then they found out that the business is them. They are the business. So it's like they have no free time and they have to work even harder to the point where they now have hired like 4 different people as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there are people that are still behind the scenes and everything that you don't see.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is the fact of just the community and the strength within the community and how you can attach and relate yourself to them. Another group that I watch that they've been around forever is Jenna and Julian. Jenna Marbles and Julian Solomita. And I watch their stuff individually, and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
And then when you watch a podcast that they sit down for an hour, hour and a half, and just, like, do random stuff, it's even, like, it's fantastic. Because there's such a good combination that they can, like, riff off of each other so well.
Oh, yeah.
And whether it's the fact that they don't have anything to say, but they can somehow find this one thing that all of a sudden they go off on a tangent.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that it makes them laugh, and then it makes you laugh, too, because you think it's hilarious. Like, you're there, too. And just the fact that you can see people that they have something there. Like, they don't have to worry about, hey, let's not say this, or let's not do this in fear of what might happen to their position or their job, because they are their job.
I would say, yeah, they kind of have that creative freedom.
Yeah, which I feel like is very powerful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just something that I've thought about. Like, to be completely honest, if I could make a job doing this, it would be amazing.
That's the dream, I think.
Like, like I would 100%, if I could live off of doing something like this, I would.
Yeah. If I could tag along and just, like, freeload, that would be even better.
Yeah, you want to do that? Okay, deal.
That's where we're headed with this.
Deal. But yeah, I mean, I think it's something empowering and impressive when the people that make the content that you see are the sole people that are in.
Yeah, and, like, you kind of touched on this, too. It's, like, they are real people. And I like the fact that it's just, like, it's not some, like, perfect celebrity. Like you said, kind of funny, started on the living room floor. Or, like, I always liked how you'd watch Dan and Phil, and they would film every video in their bedrooms. Yeah. And I always love that, because it's, like, they don't need, like, a studio. Like, obviously, they still have, like, the lighting and the good cameras and stuff, but it's, like, I love that they don't need, like, this big, fancy studio to make good content. It's just you can just do this straight from your bedroom. Yeah, like, all right.
They are the content, which, I mean, is very inspirational.
Yeah, it makes the viewer think, like, well, I have a bedroom. I could do this.
Yeah, exactly. And, I mean, one of the things that people are now talking about now is you pretty much have everything that you need already. I mean, if you have a cell phone...
If you have a phone, like a smartphone...
You can do it.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need any fancy high-tech camera or any crazy lighting or anything like that.
Just make... like, good content? No.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's crazy empowering and interesting as well, because, I mean, if you ask, they actually did a poll one time with people in elementary school, in high school, and they asked them, what is it that you want to be? And, like, 3/4 of them said that they wanted to be internet celebrities or internet personalities, and they want to create their own content.
Which is crazy, considering that, like, that wasn't even, like, a job you could have.
Yeah, no. Like that was...
Like, 15 years ago. Like, that wasn't even...
I mean, not even, like, 5 years ago. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Like, this started to become, like, a big thing very recently.
Yeah, like, and I mean, it keeps growing, and I think the fact of social media being a powerhouse behind it also allows people to create their own stuff. It
also gives you the opportunity to, like, connect with other people that you can connect with. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, not only do you get to watch this person's content, you get to keep up with, like, you know, like, vlogs and podcasts and, like, just, you know, rather, like, regular, like, skits or gameplay. It's like, okay, you can also follow them on Twitter. Yeah. You know, see what they're thinking.
And I mean...
You follow their Instagram.
Yeah, and I mean, like, some of them even now have their own, whether it's Reddit threads or their own thing, like Discord.
Oh, yeah.
There's a couple that have set up that I actually have on my phone right now. Another one of them so happens to be Sarah Dici. She's the one that she came up with. Her whole thing is Sarah Dici rhymes with Peachy. Because, like, her last name's hard to spell, but if you say it that way, then people can kind of relate, and it, like, rolls off the tongue. But, so she has the Peachy Fan that she calls. And, so it's interesting because she split it up into different segments where you have the main news and information that she does. Then she has where you can go and you can talk to other people about just tech. So, like, if you want to talk about the latest camera or whatever came out, or, hey, I need help, I need to know what should I do for lighting or camera or software, you can go there and you can talk. They have where you can go and you can talk about, like, her latest episode in this podcast that she just started. But it's one of those things that I've even done it in, you don't know the people. Yeah. But there's still a sense of community there where people were like, hey, I'm looking at this camera, this camera, and this camera. Here's what I currently have. What do you guys think? And people actually respect your opinion. Like, I had a full-on conversation with this one person that was like, hey, I'm looking at these 3 different cameras. Which ones would you suggest? And they're like, I already have a Sony, but I'm thinking about getting a Nikon or Canon or possibly this Sony. And I'm like, well, if you already have Sony, I would choose the Sony because, one, the Sony that you're looking at is better than the rest of the other ones, just based on information and specs and everything. Yeah. And the fact that when it comes to, if you do, like, color grading, so you make sure that, like, the color looks good and everything, it's just easier if you stay within the same ecosystem. And so we had a full-on conversation about cameras and what the best one is to choose. And, I mean, it was interesting because I don't know them.
Yeah, it's just, like, somebody on the internet.
It was something that happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I just think it's interesting where we're going as a society where more people are self-employed creatively.
It makes me wonder, like, where we're going to go from here. Like, you already see, like, some of the media outlets we have now, they're starting to, like, get, like, less popular. Yeah. Like, not really the news as much, but, like newspapers are a big one. Like, 2 of our local papers around here in the last year have already gone up. Each of them went up in price this year because nobody's buying newspapers anymore. And I think one of them stopped having a Monday paper. Really? Just because, like, no one reads news. It's all, like, somewhere else. So I'm like, that is already going away. And then, I mean, I feel like TV is going to be, like, the next to go. Like, just, maybe not, like, TV, but, like, TV, like news. Mm-hmm. You know, I keep saying news, but that is really what I mean. Just news outlets. I feel like it's not the preferred source of
which I mean anymore. That's kind of why, wrapping around to, like, the beginning of this, why I'm doing this whole project is because I think it's fascinating. Yeah. The fact that this is disappearing and people are picking more individuals and more personalities.
Yeah. Which, I mean, this has happened before. Like, other media outlets are, you know, going out of style. I mean, what was it? Like, they used to just show the news on a projector, like, in a movie theater every week. I mean, obviously, the home television and everything changed that. I think this is going a different route, though. Just, like you said, the different personalities, which I think is the really intriguing part. That it's not just, like, the technology that's changing. It's almost like people's ideas are changing or, like, how they see media. Yeah. Which is just really fascinating. It's like, I don't know. I just can't explain it.
Yeah, which, I mean, I think a big factor is why newspapers and stuff like that are dying is the fact of we now have social media. So as soon as something happens, everyone's alerted through Twitter or Facebook or whatever it may be.
You'll see it, like, as soon as it happens.
As soon as it happens, instead of waiting a day.
Yeah. That's like, whenever, you know, I mean, like, I think of when the terrorist attacks happened on Paris. I remember everybody changed their, like, Facebook profile picture to like the France flag, and just how quickly that all spreads online. And it's like, versus, a newspaper, you gotta wait a day.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, it's gonna be really interesting to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, 100%. I guess rolling into what seemingly topic 2 then, what do you think, because obviously we're moving away from physical things such as newspaper for our news, and it rolls into video, but something interesting that once again was mentioned in Sarah DG's podcast, because she's phenomenal at what she does, but she was talking to Gary Vaynerchuk. I don't know if you know who that is.
I don't think so.
He's a big multi social media personality. Like, he's huge in the fact where he has like his own podcast that he does, and then he now does daily vlogs as well that he uploads, and then he has this big multi-million-dollar media company on top of everything else. And he just recently came out with a book called Crushing It, which I kind of want to read. Like, I've never read any of his stuff.
Yeah.
But it kind of focused on this. But one of the big things that they hit on was the fact of voice. How now something as big as what once was video now seems to be turning almost towards podcast and audio, because you can do many things while you're listening to something in the background.
Yeah.
Instead of having to sit down and have your one-on-one attention. Another big thing to go with this is the fact of the rise in popularity of audiobooks. Just the fact of more people nowadays are listening to books than what they are reading
them.
I mean, personally, I like to have a physical book and read it, just because I think it feels nice. It feels better. But a big thing with that is, once again, you have to shut out the rest of the world.
You're kind of just focused on that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's interesting to figure out. He said that he thought that the future, which I kind of agree with him, is going to be voice. It's going to be not only people listening to podcasts instead of watching videos or reading books, but also the fact of our communication. Like, yeah, now we text to people.
Yeah.
But the fact that everyone now almost has some form of Alexa or Google Home, or what now is going to be the HomePod that Apple's coming out with, which is their own version of this. The fact that I can be in a room and I can say, "Hey Alexa, call Jaylene," or send Jaylene a message, and it sends it directly from mine to yours.
Yeah.
And like, we don't have to do anything else because our voice is faster than us sitting there and typing anything.
Typing it out.
And the fact of like, to have everything controlled and powered by the voice, because you can hook up your lights or your TV or whatever you want to it and just control everything through that, is very interesting. Because you can, I don't know if you've used it, but you can also say, "Hey Alexa, what's the daily news?" And I
did see that.
Okay, it will run through like news topics that they think that you're interested in, and it'll give you short snippets of it, whether it's from like a podcast or from a radio show. Which is an interesting way to consume content, because you can also be like, "Hey, give me a recipe for this dish."
Yeah, I was playing around with that. You recently showed me a lot of things that I didn't know my Echo could do, and I've been definitely playing with it. So like, I think the recipe thing's a big one. I have one Echo.
Yeah.
I want another one to have like one in like, I have one in like my game room.
Yeah.
Where I usually just like, it's nice to have in there for like musical purposes.
Yeah.
Or like, I'll be in there. I will be playing like Smash or something, and I'll also be playing Jeopardy on my Echo.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. But I want one for my kitchen, because like, I'll have it look up recipes or like just search through them, because I don't know what I want for dinner that night.
Yeah.
I also did the thing that you showed me where it opens my Twitch app, and I'll listen to people, like to certain streamers, their stream while I'm making dinner, which, I mean, half the time you get on Twitch, I don't watch the gameplay. I just listen to people talk
same entirely
for an hour. Some people I'm there for the gameplay, but it's like there's some, it's like, I could just listen to him talk for hours, so it's like, I'll just listen through it, like, to it through my Echo. So, yeah, it's crazy what all those things can do.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess, what do you think? Do you think that the future is voice? Do you think we're going to be stepping away from video-based content and physical content and moving more towards this future of voice is the way we consume our content?
I think it's going to become, like, a bigger, like, medium than what it is now. I think it'll be a big thing, like, in, not maybe just entertainment. Like, I don't think it'll be our biggest source of entertainment.
Okay.
But I think as far as, like, things we do on a daily basis will be a lot of things like that. Just, you know, like, coming home and be like, oh, turn the lights on, like, turn on my TV. I feel like it'll be a lot of that. I feel like as far as entertainment, though, like, I personally love podcasts. You turn them on, you can just go do something else. You just listen to them. But I think a lot of, like TV shows and even, like, people on YouTube are really getting good at, like, their, like, video content. So I think that will stay for a while. But I think, like you said, just, like, our daily lives are going to be very voice controlled, because that's what a lot of it is now. Yeah. Especially, like, Siri is a big thing that a lot of people use. Or, like, a lot of people will use the voice to text thing on their phones, which I do every now and then. So it's like, I mean, you don't have to text and drive. Just be like, hey, text Tyler this, in a sense. Usually I mumble, though, and it sends something completely different. But, I mean, I think that's where we're headed, just as, like, how we're going to live our lives. It'll be interesting to see how entertainment changes. I think the whole audio thing will just be, like, a, like, bigger, like, new form of entertainment. Yeah. Because I think just, we're learning a lot of new things, like, that you see in TV and movies, with just, like, new effects and, like, CGI and things like that. I don't think that's going to go away anytime soon. I think that's going to get just as big. So I could go on a tangent about that for a while, but we'll leave that one on the side. But it'll be interesting to see how many, like, different voice commanding things are going. I was thinking about that, and my mind popped in was, like, the self-driving cars. Yeah. I can only imagine when, like, your car starts driving yourself, what, like, voice command functions you'll also have in there. Like, hey, car, turn the AC on. Or, like, hey, car, like, play Green Day. Yeah. Like, I was thinking that, too, because I'm like, your car's already driving itself. Who's gonna want to, like, lean up and push a button? No, they're gonna have the same thing. Some cars do that already.
Now, it's interesting that you brought that up, because recently, CES just occurred, the Consumer Electronics Show.
Oh, okay.
Where it's 3 days in Las Vegas where it's just all tech, whether it's concept or if it's something that they're actually coming out with. And you just go there and you just look at everything that they have to offer. But one of the things, I believe it was Mercedes, that they came out with a car that I'm not sure if it's concept or not, but it's self-driving. It has a wraparound screen in its dash. So, you know how when you're driving, you typically have your dash that has, like, the gauges and everything on it. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes you'll have, like, your radio sitting next to you or whatever. This one is a full solid screen that goes all the way across. Not only is it that, but it is that voice command that you can do.
I saw the future. I knew.
But yeah, so it's interesting to see if that's something, how long it takes to integrate that.
Yeah, because I just feel like that's, the more we lean on technology, the more it'll be like, you don't have to push buttons, you just, like, tell it what to do. Yeah. Which is something that I did not agree with at all. I first got my Echo. It was a gift from my grandma. And I every time I used it, I would go through the app. Like, I'm like, I am not talking to this thing. I'm above that. I don't know. I moved out, and, like, I just sit and I'd, like, chat with the thing. Like, she's my best friend. I love Alexa. And so, I think the biggest thing would be people just feeling weird about it, not comfortable. That was my biggest thing. But, I mean, I live alone now. I don't care. And it's, like, it's cool enough now that if someone did walk in on me talking to, like, my Echo, I really wouldn't care.
Yeah.
So I would say the weirdest thing about it is like the fact that you're kind of talking to yourself, but you're really not. And once you get over that, I think it'll be even more normalized than what it is now.
Yeah. What I guess you mentioned about you living alone and stuff like that. Yeah. So let's talk about life.
Okay.
Right? Just kind of like changing. Also, not only that, but you brought up the idea of talking about friendships as well, and just kind of how that evolved. Because I feel like a big thing that we did talk about in the very first topic was the fact of sense of personality, individualism, and connections that we have to the people that we watch or listen to. So I feel like a big key aspect here is that we should talk about what our friendship is and kind of like how that did, so that the people watching or listening or whatever can kind of feel like they understand.
Like us?
Yeah. Like
friendship?
Us, and then just kind of like our group of friends, because we have a core group of friends that not many people
pretty
have.
Like close-knit, which is kind of weird if you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, not many people have that. Yeah.
But I don't know, where do you want to start with this? We're about to dig in deep.
Yeah, we are. Let's start with just the whole idea of our group of friends.
Okay. I think what really started is because we all went to high school together, and there's 6 of us, and there was you, our friend Tegan, and then my brother Jacob, who we refer to as Burguy. You guys were all in the same class. You guys all graduated together, and you guys were friends. I would say Burguy and Tegan were pretty close. You and Tegan were close for a while too.
Yeah.
So the 3 of you, but you also had other friends.
Yeah.
Besides just the 3 of you, which I think is weird that it ended up just being you 3 that we hung out with. And then our other 3 group of friends would be me, our friend Cody, and our friend Matthew. And we were all in the same graduating class. And us separate groups were 2 years apart. So you guys graduated in 2014, we graduated in 2016. And we didn't start really hanging out till probably like the end of like our senior year. Yeah. Because you guys were all graduated. And I think it worked because Burguy and Tegan lived together. Yeah. When they went to college together. You and Burguy, I remember, used to hang out on the weekends. Because you and I didn't really hang out. No, not at all. I remember, like, our only interaction through high school was I had these ugly red plaid skinny jeans. Yep. And you told me they looked like couch pants. And, like, that was our whole, like, high school conversation. And that was it. That was it. So it's like, this is the last thing I expected to come out of, like, our relationship. So, I remember you guys would hang out. And, I mean, I had other friends at the time, so it's not like I hung out with you guys. I think it was just, I don't know, you start to graduate, like, you graduate and you don't really hang out with a lot of people that you were friends with, just because you don't see them, and you just kind of grow as people, I guess. But me, Matthew, and Cody still kind of hung out, and I mean, Tegan and Burguy obviously hung out, and then you and Burguy were hanging out. Yeah. I think one day the 6 of us just kind of combined. Yeah, just somehow, like, randomly. And it worked. Yeah. I remember, like, the 6 of us, when we first started hanging out, we would just, like, we'd just laugh, and we would just, like, we would just make up, like, jokes, and, like, we would just go on, like, these tangents for just hours. So I think that's what a lot of it is just, like, the chemistry we all have with each other. Yeah. So it is weird that we started all like hanging out after high school. Yeah. I would say the end of like our senior year is when the 6 of us kind of realized like that this was like a group thing. Yeah. So.
And I mean, it's interesting. We talked about like as a group, we've talked about this before, and the fact that it makes sense that you guys hung out. It makes no sense that I hung out with you guys.
I feel like you kind of just tagged along one time, and then you stuck, and it just made sense. Because I know, and I think there was a couple times that, like, you and Burguy would hang out, and then I would tag along. But I don't remember you and I ever, like, really hitting it off. Yeah. Like, just the 2 of us, really. I mean, now we do. Just fine. 100%. You and I could talk for hours and probably not get bored of each other.
Obviously, I mean, that's right here, but...
but, it's just weird. I think there was just... We all just kind of hung out one day, and it kind of just worked. And it's like... I don't know.
But, I mean, like, if we want to dive deeper into, like, connection-wise, it's you and Burguy.
Yeah.
Brother and sister.
We're a package deal. I'm stuck with Burguy for life.
Exactly. And then you have Cody. You guys are all related.
That's true. Cody's also our cousin.
Exactly. Tegan, obviously, him and Burguy are...
Yeah. And you and Tegan were pretty good friends at high school.
Yeah. I mean, we were. And then kind of, like, just kind of, like, didn't hang out as much. Mm-hmm. But then, obviously, like, you and Matthew, I feel like...
Matthew and I have been... Matthew's been one of my best friends since probably about 6th grade. He moved here. Yeah, I think he moved to our school in 6th grade. And we rode the same bus. I remember he moved here, and I thought he was weird. Like, I really did.
To be fair, he is.
He's very
weird. I mean,
weird.
he's his own person, but I mean, it's
I'm just
fantastic.
as weird.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
You know, being in middle school, I didn't realize it. But, I don't know. Him and I just kind of, like, hit it off. We're, like... Matthew's gonna be one of those people. We're gonna be, like, in our 80s, and we're still gonna be, like, best friends. Like, so I feel like Matthew and I are pretty much a package deal at this point.
Yeah. And then you have me. I'm like the outlier here because I don't know exactly why, but for whatever reason, and I don't know if it was the fact that Burguy was always home.
Yeah.
Because I went to Northwest State Community College beforehand, so I stayed home.
Yeah.
And I think it was the fact that I knew he was home on the weekends.
Burguy came home every weekend.
Every weekend.
And he did not have his car on campus. And it was about a 45 minute drive.
Yeah.
So on Friday nights... My mom would drive 40 minutes to Bowling Green, pick up her nerdy son, drive all the way back home, and then on Sunday night, she'd drive him all the way back, and then she'd drive all the way home. I'm like,
I mean, whatever. But I mean, like, I think one day I was like, okay, who can I hang out with? Like, who was it that... And I was like, hey, Burguy's available.
Yeah.
So I ended up hanging out with him, and then I think that's when a couple times,
because there were also times around the time that you and Burguy would hang out on the weekends, I was kind of in the spot where, like, I felt like I didn't have any friends. Yeah. So it'd be like, oh, Burguy's my best friend. So, like, Burguy would be like, yeah, I'm going to go hang out with Tyler. And I'd kind of just tag along. Yeah. And I think that's how you and I started to at least get to know each other better. Yeah. But you and I don't know how you and I, like, actually hit it off. No clue. It works. Yeah. We get along great now. It just kind of happened.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know when, like, the time or the point. Like, I can't tell you one specific point of, like,
I don't remember
this was it.
When it was just, like, you and I just hanging out somewhere. Which we do all the time now.
Yeah.
But it's, like, I don't remember the first time that, like, one of us was like, oh, hey, you want to go do something?
Yeah, neither do I.
I mean... I don't know. I know when we went to prom together.
Yeah, we did.
Senior year.
Yeah, we did.
I don't think that was it.
Good enough, and if whoever's watching this on video, maybe I'll throw in the prom photo here. But who knows? Somewhere. That's a lot of work. I have to find it.
Yeah. I burned all the copies. But I don't know. I think it's interesting how it all worked out. I think we all have pretty similar personality types. Yeah. We're all pretty laid back. And, like, we get together, we could all just sit in a room and just sit there for hours.
Yeah, which, I mean, we've done before.
Like, bust out a board game? Great. Stay here even longer. Mm-hmm. I think that's one of the reasons. It's just, like, we can all just sit, hang out, have a good time. I don't know. We all have pretty similar sense of humor. I think one of the things that really makes us work is we all kind of just sit and, like, make fun of each other. Like, yeah. I think some of the meanest things that have ever been said to me have been from you guys. Like Tegan and Burguy alone, they're just cruel to me sometimes. And it's like, I don't think anybody else has ever been so mean. But it's like, it's all, like, in good fun. I hope.
Hopefully. Oh no.
They might be going back to VG and be like, oh, she totally bought that as a joke. But I think that, I don't know. It's just, we all get along great.
Yeah. And I mean, it's interesting too because we are it's 2-year apart difference.
Yeah.
So, I mean, technically, we all are in kind of our own different stages of life.
Yeah, we're all progressing pretty differently.
I mean, like, I'm in my last semester of university, and then I get a real job.
Yeah.
And then no more summers. Like, that was weird for me.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking past couple weeks, I was like, man, I wonder what I'm going to do in the summer after I'm done and in between my break. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I don't have a summer.
Get a summer.
No, I'm like, I'm done after this, and it just becomes another season. Like, it becomes another day. Like, it's not, I wonder what trip I'm going to be taking.
I had that because I'm currently taking some time off from school because I don't know what I'm doing. That's a whole nother podcast. That wouldn't even be an episode. That would be a whole series.
A whole series.
Like, why Jaylene can't get her life together. But I'm taking some time off, and like that would have been like last January is when I decided that I'm just gonna be done for a while, and I spent just all last year working, and it's not that it was weird to go through summer because at least with when I was even taking college classes, I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna have like summer break. It was weird to go through summer, and it was just like it just felt like another season.
Yeah.
So like. It's gonna be weird. Your first one.
Yeah. 100%.
It's not bad. I mean, getting paid's nice.
Yeah.
So,
looking forward to that part.
You work in the summer too, which, I mean, so it won't be too weird. But it's weird that you just won't get like this main like break.
Yeah.
From like your main.
Like there's no going back.
Yeah.
Like it's done.
Yeah. That's kind of how I felt my first summer when it was just like me working for a year. I'm like, oh, I'm an adult now.
I gotta do adult things. So. I mean, but interestingly enough, technically, you're like the first person to actually move out.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you could kind of count Burgai and Tegan.
But I don't know if I would because technically it's still college and they're not by themselves.
That's true. They're still living together. I would think so.
I mean, like, what do you think? I mean, I know you haven't been, like, out long.
I think, yesterday was my first, I've been there officially a month now. Because I moved in, we officially moved all my stuff in, December 30th. So December 30th was my first night there. So full month of me living there. And, I love it. Yeah. I hate paying bills. I hate doing my dishes. And I sometimes forget to lock the door before I go to work. But, like, I don't know. I love living alone. Because everyone always tells you, like, I remember being in high school, I'm very introverted. I need my alone time. I need my space. If my mom does watch this, she's like, so gonna be, like, nodding her head. Because I'm just cruel in the morning. Because I don't like talking to people. And then had to go downstairs and, like, socialize with my mom. I love my mom, but I don't want to talk to her in, like 8:30 in the morning. I'm sorry. And, like, everyone in high school tells her, like, oh, you're going to miss it. And then, oh, you got to pay bills and all that. I give all my money to bills to, like, have the experience of living on my own. Mm. And I'm only a month in. I could completely change my mind, like, 6 months from now. But, like, I don't know. Like, even coming over tonight, it was weird, like, not having to ask permission. I still feel myself doing that, but, I really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going through that thing where I think a lot of people our age go through when they first move out, where it's, especially with dinner, planning meals is just awful. It's terrible to do.
Yeah.
I don't think, like, parents get enough credit. Oh my god.
For the fact of doing that.
Last night, I had, like, this, like, sour cream dip and chips for dinner.
Yeah.
That's all I ate. I'm like, I don't feel like cooking. It's like, I gotta get up early. I'm getting better at it. I already know what we have for dinner tomorrow. So I'm gonna throw some chicken in the crock pot, have it ready after work. But, I don't know. I love having the freedom of, like, I'll just have, like, a Pop-Tart for dinner. Yeah. Or, like, I'll just do my dishes tomorrow. That's pretty cool. Or, like, I don't know when you've been over last, but I love how my house doesn't have to be like, I can have it any way I want. So I've got this this speeder Lego Star Wars set sitting on top of my microwave just because I didn't have a spot for it, and I just kind of threw it up there. I'm like, that's where it's gonna stay. I love having little things like that in my house. It makes me so happy. And I'm like, yeah, we'll just put this like little nerdy thing right there where it probably shouldn't belong, but that's where I'm gonna put it.
But no one can tell me not to, because it's my place.
Yeah, I feel like in about 10, 15 years when I'm like married, settled in, maybe have some kids. Like my house won't be so like nerdy and so like just like, I don't know. Well, I'll sort of have it together.
Yeah.
I kind of like how I'm just kind of like, I don't know, just winging it. There's a certain kind of like freedom that comes with it that I really like. Yeah. That, I don't know, because I live right next door to my mom, so it's kind of nice. I've got that little like security blanket, but then it's like, yeah, I got my own place.
Do you think if you would have done it differently, would you have moved further? Or would you have, or do you like that?
That'd be a good question in about a year. Well, first off, free Wi-Fi, because my extender reaches my mom's. I think I'm gonna look back on this and feel like it was a really good idea.
Yeah.
My aunt owns a house that I'm living in now. She's my landlord. I do pay rent. I'm not living there for free. But I remember, because she lived right next door, obviously, when we were younger. Mm-hmm. And I remember I would spend the weekends over there. Or, like, I'd go spend the night every now and then. And I always pictured myself, like, eventually living in that house. Yeah. I don't know why. I always just thought, like, oh, I'll live here someday. Mm-hmm. And I kind of love the fact that that's how it ended up. So, I think it's a good starter home. Because I got my mom right next door. And it's in an area I'm familiar with. Yeah. I don't think I'll be there forever, but no. I mean, obviously not. It's my first, place outside of my mom's, but I don't think I'd want to do it different. No. I think this is the way that makes the most sense. Because I was, like, looking at apartments, and I had a few people that I thought, well, maybe I'll move in with them. But, I don't know. I think this was almost the way it was meant to be. Yeah.
Do you think that if there's one thing you could change about the house itself, what would you do? Or are you, like, happy with the way it is? And
the outside's kind of run down. If we could get some new siding, that's about it. I don't really care. It, waterworks, it got heat, lights will turn on. I mean, it's a house. I'm not too picky. Yeah. It's a...
Okay. Interesting.
Any more questions?
Any more questions? No, I think that's it for the whole house situation. Do I want to move in? I don't know if there's enough room for me to move in because we need our own podcasting room as well.
That's true. And you'd be in the second bedroom.
Yeah, I'd be in your game room.
My game room.
So we'd have to figure out
my
a
game room
situation there.
/ guest room because the futon's in there.
Fair enough. I guess another thing, since we're done with that topic, probably, unless you have anything else to add to it.
I don't think so. I didn't think we were gonna do the whole moving out thing. That surprised me.
Yeah, I like throw curveballs in there.
All right.
Like, be prepared.
I wasn't prepared for that one. But
be prepared
I think
for
I did
not
okay.
being prepared. Another thing, real quick, another topic. Brand loyalty.
You brought this up, and I thought of you right away.
Yes.
Because every time, first off, I don't keep up with Apple. I've gone through like 4 iPod Touches, like 2 iPads. I gave up, and it's probably my fault, but it's like too much upkeep for me. It's like just give me like a smartphone that works, and I'm okay. Yeah. But every time I hear about a new Apple product, which is usually from you, because usually I don't care, I'll hear about it, and then like not even 6 months later, you'll have it, and it's like I know you're gonna get it. That's every time I hear Apple's got something out, I'm like, well, I'll get to see it from Tyler. So you brought this up, and I'm like, oh my god, yeah, that's you.
And I mean, honestly, to be fair, yes, I am 100% an Apple sheep.
Yeah.
they have something new coming out, and I'm like, I need to find a way to get that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, to also be fair, again, every time they have a press release that they do, I stop everything else I do, and I allocate 2 hours of my day to sit there and watch this live press release. Because I think that they do, a fantastic job with presenting their stuff. Like, it's fantastic all the way around.
I'll give them that. Whenever they, like, announce something, it's usually, the presentation's usually good.
Yeah.
I usually don't, like, care about the product at all, because I know I'm not going to buy it. I'm not their audience, but it's like, that's a good presentation.
Yeah.
I'll respect it. I mean,
100%. I'm like, every time we go somewhere that there's an Apple store, I'm like, I have to go. So one example of that is actually when I went to New York in December. We went, and there is, like, the official New York Apple store. And I'm like, if we go, I want to go there. And so we went there. Like, we made a separate trip while we were out and about. And I'm like, the Apple store's a couple blocks down that way. Can we go? And so we went there, and it was awesome. I took a couple pictures because I'm like, this is fantastic. And then on top of that, I also bought a pair of their AirPods because I wanted something from New York that I knew that I'd use every day.
I'm surprised you bought those so late. I knew you were going to get them.
Yeah.
But, like, they first came out. And you got them a little bit later after they came out.
Yeah.
But I was waiting. I knew you'd get a pair.
I mean, like, my whole thought process with that was the fact that I don't need any.
Yeah.
Until I have a phone that doesn't have the headphone jack.
Yeah.
So with the iPhone 10, it doesn't have a headphone jack.
That's how they get you.
Exactly.
That's why I don't like Apple.
Exactly. So I'm like, I need these now. And so I ended up getting them. And then we also went to the Oculus Mall that's over in New York.
Oh, okay.
And they too have an Apple store.
Did you go to that one too?
I did.
I didn't hear about
like,
this.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I have to go to this Apple store. So we went there, and it was, once again, it was a 2-story Apple store. But instead of there being, like, stairs in between connecting them, you had to know what section you wanted. Because, like, it was on, like, 2 different floors.
Oh.
Yeah. It was interesting. But I'm like, I have to go here because it's another Apple store. Like, I'm so sucked into their ecosystem. They do such a great job at connecting everything. So that's why I'm, like, 100%. Whatever Apple wants to do.
Yeah.
I'm sold.
I think that's why I really didn't like Apple. Is because, like, I got my first iPod Touch when I was probably in, like, 8th grade. 7th, 8th grade, I don't know. And, I loved it. I used it for everything. But it's, like, I always had a hard time with, like, iTunes on our laptop at home. Because it wasn't Apple. Yeah. And I think they've gotten better with this. It's just, I don't care anymore. I gave up. This says a lot about my personality. I'm just naturally stubborn. But I gave up. And it's like, I think Apple is, like, really just optimal. Yeah. If you have, like...
everything.
If you have, like, the... what is it? The Mac?
Yeah.
I don't even know what it's called.
It's the Mac.
And, like, you have the iPhone and you have the iPad. And what do you have? Like, the Apple Pencil?
Yeah, to go with the iPad Pro.
I remember when that came out, because that's when you and I started, like, hanging out, the two of us.
Yeah.
When we started to really become friends. I remember they announced that, and me and one of my other friends, because this was before I graduated, we were talking about that at school one day, and I'm like, that is so dumb. Like, we couldn't get over the fact that this came out. I came over to your house probably, like, not even a month later. Yeah. And you're like, I got the Apple Pencil. Let me show it to you. And it's cool. I liked it, but it's like, oh my god. I was just how stupid it was.
I mean, to be fair, I use it for notes.
Yeah.
For the past year, since I've got it, I've used it for notes and taking for everything in university and stuff like that. And it's fantastic. I love it. Just because, once again, it syncs to everything.
Yeah. The thing is with you, whenever you buy an Apple product, it doesn't, like, aggravate me. Because it's like, you do you. But it's like, I know you're going to use it too. And I know you're going to get your money's worth out of it. It's just, if I bought an Apple Pencil, I don't care how many iPads I have, I would not get my money's worth. I just personally wouldn't use it. I just think it's hilarious how opposite we are on this. Yeah. Because I'm like, I'm not, like, anti-Apple, but it's like, I could just care less. Yeah. So.
No, I mean, that's like, my brother. The first time he was in an Apple store was, like, a year ago. I'm like... because we went to Toledo, and I'm like, hey, can we go to the Apple store? He's like, I've never been to the Apple store. I'm like, what? You've never been to the Apple store? He's like, no. I'm like,
which is weird considering he's your brother.
Which is weird. And I'm like, I mean, honestly, he doesn't like going many places. He'd rather be home and do whatever, play PUBG or whatever. And I'm like, no, let's go. Let's have an adventure. And so it was the first time of showing him, this is an Apple store. Yeah. This is what they do. And I find myself, too, when I walk in, whether it's Apple or if it's Best Buy or whatever it is, somehow I end up telling someone, this is what you should get. And these are the different... Like, I end up helping them shop.
Yeah, you definitely recommend products. Like, they should pay you whenever you walk in.
I know, right? Because, like, honestly, when we went to the New York trip, I went there and I'm like, oh, I'm getting these AirPods. And I bought one. And the lady one of the ladies that went with us, Sue, she's like, I'm trying to find a good gift for my husband. And he wants a new pair of Bluetooth headphones. I'm like, these are phenomenal. These are the best you can get. And so she's like, oh, where are they? So I showed her. And she's like, now how do I pay for this? Because obviously Apple stores don't have like straight up registers that you walk up to. You just tell the person, the representative, you're like, hey, I want to buy this. And they're like, okay, let me pull out my phone and then we'll just do the transaction right here. But so then later I ended up getting, my mom got a message from her saying how big of a hit these AirPods were. And the fact that her son wants a pair too, and she wants to get a pair for herself as well. So, like, inevitably, somehow I end up selling someone something. But it's gotten to the point where, no lie, I kind of want just a plain Apple employee t-shirt. Like,
just to wear around.
Yeah, like, it seems the
Your
most
battery
ridiculous.
Got exhausted.
Oh, no.
Rip. Well, I see myself.
I think we killed the battery.
Oh. Well, you have to edit that.
Well, we officially killed the battery.
Did it save all our, like, footage, though? I would say it should have, right?
I think so.
I'm ready to start whenever you are.
Good, because I hit record.
Are we rolling?
Yeah, we're rolling.
We're live!
Again! We killed the battery.
I'm gonna blame it on you. It's your battery. You killed it.
Yeah, that's right. That's my battery.
Okay, so we were talking about how you are a wannabe Apple employee.
Yes.
And how you're just good at it.
Yeah.
You're very loyal to Apple.
To a fault.
Yeah. I would say I'm like that with some brands. Mm. I wouldn't say, like, I'm in that deep with it. But we were trying to figure out, because we knew right away that we heard about, we had the idea of brand loyalty. And right away, I think both of us thought of you and Apple. Me, on the other hand, I was thinking, my first thought was, I've been buying the same pair of Converse since, like, 8th grade. Yeah. This is the classic black ones. So I'm like, well, I'm kind of loyal to Converse, but I'm like, I don't keep up with them, really. And then I thought, well, Dr. Pepper, because it's always in my fridge.
Well, to be fair, with the whole Converse thing, I probably have 5 or 6 sitting in my room.
You're probably just as bad as me. Yeah, yours is more the variety. Mine's just like, oh, my Converse are worn out. Let me go buy the same pair again. Yeah. Like, you brought up, which I thought kind of hit the nail on the head, was Nintendo, which I've kind of been loyal to. Even through the Wii U struggle. Oh, man. I was there through that.
Did you hear? The Switch already surpassed the Wii U sales.
Yeah, I heard. Which,
like, by flying colors.
What? Like, 20 people bought the Wii U.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, to the point where the Switch is now the highest, or the fastest selling console in history.
Oh, really?
Of all of them now.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah.
It passed the Wii on that? Because the Wii sold really well when it came out. And, like, the PlayStation 2. Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, it now holds the...
I heard about it passing the Wii U, and I'm like, man, that does not surprise me. But I'm pretty loyal to Nintendo. Usually they'll announce something. Yeah. And even if it's, like, just, like, stupid, or, like, seems like it's gonna be a disaster, part of me always backs them up. It's like they announced the Wii U, and I think... Maybe not when they announced it, but when it kind of got released and they started, like, releasing games very slowly, a lot of people, they got a lot of backlash. For good reason, because hardly any Wii U games came out. And I remember me and Burger did the same thing. We stood behind it. I still think it's a good console.
Yeah.
I think it had a lot of potential that Nintendo just didn't use.
Didn't do, yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I've been Team Nintendo since the GameCube days.
Which, I think that they're now doing that with their new console, with the Switch.
Yeah, they're using its potential. Because they probably realized, oh yeah, we messed up with the Wii U. We're like, oh, yeah. I also, I think Nintendo's has been trying to do this, starting with the Wii U and just the success of the DS and their other handheld consoles is I like how they're getting they're switching more into mobile.
Yeah.
Not mobile phones, but being able to take your games on the go.
Yeah.
Which I know a lot of people weren't sure of when the Switch came out. I like it. I think that's where the future of gaming is headed.
I love it.
Yeah, I know you really like it. I have yet to buy a Switch because I have to pay rent.
To be honest, I think the Switch is honestly my favorite console of all time.
If they ever announce a new Smash game, I'm sold. It's power's going off in my house. We're getting a Switch.
We are buying the Switch,
I
whether
can
we
wait
can
a little
power
bit
it
longer.
or not.
But I really backed him up on that because I think it's a good idea, and I thought if anyone could pull it off, it's Nintendo. Yeah. I mean, the DS has been going on for how long now? It carried them through the dark times of the Wii U.
100%. I think the thing is with the Wii U and moving on to the Switch is that they learned their lesson. The fact that they can't just be only Nintendo makes these games.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, now with the Switch, they're opening it up to Nindies, which are indies and small video game companies that are actually making fantastic games.
Well, that's when they got Skyrim on the Switch. I think that was a big stepping stone.
And it's fantastic. I love it. The fact that I can take it with me and be I'm playing Skyrim at someone else's house right now. And it's my game.
Yeah. I think Nintendo does a lot of stupid decisions. I think they usually learn from them though.
Yeah.
So I think that's one reason why I always back Nintendo up. I still play my Wii U. I really do like it. I wish there were more games. Yeah. I really do. But I love Smash 4. It is it's one of my favorite Smash games. I think it's right behind Melee. I think it's better than Smash 64. Definitely better than Brawl. Mario Kart 8 is one of my favorite Mario Karts, which I know they have it on the Switch now. Yeah. But my brother bought Mario Kart when it first came out for the Wii U, and we were playing it, and we're like, this is a great Mario Kart.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And it kind of made me think so many people are gonna miss out on this Mario Kart. Probably not now because of Switch, because they ported it, or not ported it. I guess it's Mario Kart 8 Deluxe now. Yeah. So you have the extra stuff, so it's kind of a separate game. But I remember playing it, and I'm there's gonna be people who won't get to play Mario Kart 8 because they won't buy Switch. With good reason. I mean, I bought one because I didn't buy one. Mine was a gift, but I wanted one just because it's it's Nintendo. I know eventually I will get a Switch, but I feel it's kind of late now. But I'm I do want one.
Yeah,
I don't know yet.
I mean, I was there midnight release.
Yeah.
I mean, I ended up calling because I was still up at university in Tiffin, and I ended up calling GameStop, and they're like, yeah, we'll have them. We just won't tell you how many we have. I'm like, okay, great.
Yeah.
And so I got late into the game where I didn't pre-order. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm not going to pre-order this. And so I ended up calling Walmart literally 3 days before. And I called them. I'm like, yeah, I was wondering if you guys are doing a midnight launch. And they're like, yeah, we are. And I'm like, okay, great. Do you mind telling me how many you have? That way I know what my chances are of actually getting one of these. And they're like, yeah, we have 30. I'm like, 30 as in including pre-orders and stuff. They're like, no, we have 30 extra. 30. And this is when they were sold out everywhere. Yeah. And I'm like, okay. So you have 30, to be clear, not including pre-orders, you have 30 extra that you're selling at midnight. Yeah. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, sold. And so I literally got there an hour before midnight because I didn't know what the line was going to be like. first person in line there, and to the point where, like, I was just talking with the employees and stuff while I was waiting, and there were people that were coming in and they were asking questions or whatever, and of course, because I do so much research on stuff before I get them, I was answering their questions, to the point where, as I'm standing in line telling other people about this thing, one of the managers of Walmart comes up to me and was like, would you like a job here? Because you clearly know what you're talking about, and you're legit selling me on getting a Nintendo Switch. And I'm like, yeah, I'll think about that. But thing is, so people later came over after GameStop released theirs at midnight.
Yeah.
They had 2. I don't know if I told you this. They had 2 in addition to pre-orders. And so people were standing outside in the cold around the building. And
they only had 2.
They only had 2 in addition to pre-orders. And they wouldn't tell people that were waiting in line until they got up to the register.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And so there were people that came over that they were, like, completely mad and everything about this whole situation. Yeah, I would be too.
And good reason.
And, like, that's when I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to Walmart. Because clearly they told me, hey, we got 30. I'm like, okay. I'm sold. But no, I think the Switch is honestly one of my favorite consoles. To the point where I have a PS4. Yeah. And if that dies, I don't know if I'm going to buy another one. Like, I think I'll stick to the Switch and, if anything, invest in the PC that I have.
Yeah.
Make it a little bit better.
I know eventually I'll get a Switch. It's just not the right time.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. Maybe one day. The difference between me and you, though, because I also got my Wii U late.
Yeah.
I got it, I think, a year after, or maybe a year and a half after everybody else already had theirs and all that. So, I'm like, I'll probably get the Switch late, which is fine. I don't care when I get it, as long as I get it.
Yeah.
The difference between me and you, though, is Nintendo's next console that is just garbage. It's not good. Nobody likes it. You're going to skip out on it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be one of those suckers that ends up buying one to play 2 games on it.
Let's play 2 games. Yeah.
The only thing I really use my Wii U for anymore is Smash, which I definitely got my money's worth.
Yeah, 100%.
We play a lot of Smash on there. Yeah. Like, when you guys come over, or just, like, me and Burguy, or even, like, just by myself. I got Minecraft on there, too, when they announced Minecraft on the Wii U. And that was right after I got my Wii U, like, because they announced that kind of later, and that was kind of nice, because I never had a console version of Minecraft before that, because I don't really have any other consoles, I just have Nintendo consoles at home, so, and then, like, Burguy had his PC when he was living there, but, yeah, that was kind of nice. I played Minecraft for a while, and then Mario Kart 8 for a while, and then, I mean, Mario Kart gets old when it's just you.
Yeah.
Mario Kart's definitely more fun with friends. I will say Mario Party 10 is one of my least favorite Mario Parties. They really messed up a Mario Party.
Like it.
It's like Bowser mode's fun for like 2 games, and then...
Yeah, and then it's kind of...
But I think it had good potential.
Mm-hmm.
But I will stay loyal to Nintendo. One day they will have another bad console. You won't buy it. I will. And I'll back it up.
You'll be the sole supporter.
Me and Burguy. Burguy will be there too.
Yes. Of course.
So, I think that's pretty well it with brand loyalty.
Yeah.
We're not really loyal to anybody else.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's all I got. That's all I got for that.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think we're probably like an hour and a half into this, so we should probably cut it, considering that my camera died on me.
We don't want this one to die now.
No.
Or this battery to die. Yeah.
No, that'd be bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess we'll just cut it here and
I suppose. So, guess we'll see you next week.
Yep. I mean, this officially ends the first episode of the For Honors podcast.
How do you feel about this?
I'm excited. I'm surprised how well this has gone.
This, besides the battery dying, I think our conversation went pretty smoothly.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for our next one.
Yeah.
To keep doing this.
I feel like eventually we'll get even more comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Become more naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Well, this has officially been the first episode of the For Honors podcast, with more to come every single week. make sure that you stay tuned and turn in every single week to find out what exactly it is that we're talking about and what exactly it is that will entertain you. Right now, Jaylene's phone is ringing, but it's okay because it's just Bird Guy.
It's just Bird Guy. We'll get him on sometime. Or, I guess that's your choice, but...
That's true. Maybe. And so, if you guys really enjoy this and you thought it was great, wherever you are at, make sure you stay tuned for more to come, because there will definitely be more topics that we'll be talking about. And let's just try to have an environment, an ecosystem of friendly creatives helping each other out. I think that's the main goal here.
And if you care enough to really want to get involved, let us know what you would like us to talk about and dive into.
Yeah, of course. That's 100% interesting, because this is a two-way street, and it's not just us talking to you, but we want to hear from you as well. So this officially ends.
We're officially done.
The first podcast.
One down.
Ever.
Too many more to go.
Way too many. Okay, guys. See you next week.
Goodbye.
Meanwhile, across town, in this less than fashionable cubbyhole of the San Francisco Examiner, these editors are programming today's copy of the paper into that same Ohio computer. When the telephone connection between these two terminals is made, the newest form